Boys. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. I got lights in my face. That doesn't matter though. I have to come open, dude. I'm coming out. I'm coming out, bro. I'm coming out, bro. Let's go. Let's go, Brandon, dude. Nah, I don't know that Brandon guy. You know what I mean? And I'm regrowing my hair, boys. You know, struggling with going bald. Not gonna lie, it's a sad time in life, dude. My shirt's inside out. Doesn't matter though. Pretty good coffee though, boys. But today is a big day, boys. We're coming out now of the closet. We're not gay. And shout out Proud Month. I mean Pride Month. Shout out Pride Month, boys. Yeah, come on now. It's Pride, dude. You gotta shove your wiener out, dude. You know what I mean? No, but seriously, there's it's election year, boys. Sorry, I almost lost my train of thought. Not gonna lie, it is election year, boys, and we're starting this election year off with a prize: being naked in a parade. No, but it's election year, man. A lot of confusion going around, boys. Who are we gonna elect as president? And by the title of the stream, I'm saying RFK Jr. That's who I'm probably voting for, boys. If he's on the ballots, if he's on the ballots. Most importantly, boys, most importantly, is that if he gets on the ballots, all 50 states, I'm probably voting for him. Not gonna lie. He seems like the most reasonable guy to vote for in this time of day. You know, when both sides of the parties are controlling what you think and say, and they're controlling the elections. I'm just saying, boys, I think we have a person that, my opinion, right? Usually I strayed away from politics a long time ago because I'm like, that is complete, utter waste of time. But I wanted to make this, boys, this live stream. It's tugging on my heart, you know, something I wanted to make and speak about. Because honestly, as an American, the country's going in a bad way, dude. It's going in a bad way. But one thing is, we can't control it, right? We can only control what we do. What we do, right? And that's, of course, becoming rich and taking care of our people, you know, our cousins that we love and enjoy. But honestly, we can do nothing to change this. To me, I don't know if our vote really matters anymore. I don't know if that's taboo to say, but, you know, I don't think it does, man. But this year, I'm going to take that shot, man. Like school shooter. No, I'm joking. No. But, nah, I just think our vote doesn't matter anymore. But this year, I am going to probably, if he's on the ballot, I'm going to vote for him. And we got some reactions we're gonna do, if I can talk, honestly. If I can talk, yeah. But we got this reaction. It's Piers Morgan and RFK Jr. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but boys, if you want to watch the whole thing, it's online, right? Piers Morgan and RBJ. Not RBJ, RFK. I mean, my bad. I got the names mixed up. I'm having a seizure, boys. My bad. Big seizure time. No offense to the people. Hey, I should be able to say that. It's kind of rude, but I did have seizures when I was a baby. You know, my dad saved my life. Thank goodness. Shout out to my dad. He did save my life. You know, so I appreciate that. He did it twice. So you know, really appreciate that. Let me close out a few things, boys. I'm gonna change my shirt. Hopefully, you won't see my body, my big, fat body. You know, my juicy body. You know, I don't want you guys to see that, so I'm gonna turn off my camera. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. But boys, welcome to the stream. If you're new here, like and subscribe. We usually don't talk about politics, boys, but I just felt it on my heart, on my tiny heart, to really go over this, you know, and talk like an idiot for a little bit, you know, yap on. RFK, let's go, baby. That's who we're voting for, dog. Honestly, that's who we're voting for. I think so. I don't know who you guys are voting for. I'm not trying to tell you, hey man, don't. If you vote for Biden, you're a weirdo, dude. If you vote for Trump, you like your sister. You know, I'm not doing that here, honestly. I don't want to spread that kind of message. You know, there's nothing wrong with liking your sister a little bit. There's definitely nothing wrong with liking your sister. I have to say that. You know, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I don't want to be that guy to say, hey, it's not cool. You know, I don't want to judge you. It's you and the Lord that He has to judge you. I don't want to throw them stones. You know what I mean? No throwing stones over here, brother. No, sir. Oh yeah, boys, I have been watching Haikyuu. It's one of my favorite anime shows of all time. I have got to say, boys, it's like, dude, it's got sports, it's got cool people in it. You know, just an overall good time. If you want to feel like the motivational punch to your gut and a little bit of crying, it's all on you, dog. Like, if you want to open up that box and start crying, dude, what you gonna do, man? But yeah. Okay, hold up. I gotta join the live. Well, I am live, but I just gotta look through something real quick. But yeah, definitely, boys, we might be having some new videos coming out soon. We will. Everything has been fixed. Shout out to my boy Kevin. Kevin! W Kevin. Boys, W Kevin's in the chat. All the Kevins out there, but most importantly, my boy. W's to him, man. We'll probably play some games afterwards, if I can speak English today. That'd be awesome. The craziest YouTube rabbit hole. Shout out Oompaville, man. Dude, I can't even talk, bro. Like, me yammering on, I can't even conversate, man. What the... I want to share this, dude. Let me share it, boy. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. Come here, boy. Okay, that was weird. Okay. We might even get on a conversation with the boys. See what they think. Yeah, get a shareable link. We need that. Sorry, boys. This is going to take me a second. But boys, let me know who you think is the best candidate. You know, I kind of went away from politics for a long time just because of how much, you know, autism it is. But in the days we live in, bro, it's kind of hard not to be in it, right? And I don't want to make my content about politics, but this one person might actually change things. We should, in my opinion, only should trust the Lord above, right? Because we live in dangerous times of today, and I think that's the only reasonable source to follow, the Lord Jesus. You know, maybe my content doesn't show it. It definitely doesn't. You know, the way I speak and say things, definitely doesn't show that I love Jesus. Gotta do that more. Honestly. But yeah, I think that's the only person we should really trust. Not any of these politicians, because all of them lie, man. You never know. You never know with politicians or people. But we just gotta trust ourselves and our family and get up. And trust everyone else, to a certain degree, right? So... oh yeah, boys, we are on the Tinder. You know, I'm not trying to sleep or sleep around. I'm not trying to hook up, dog. You know, we're trying to get shredded, dog. We're trying to touch our elbows. You know, because if you're morbidly obese, I don't know if you can touch your elbows. But yeah, boys. Hold up. I might just say, hey, lady, follow me on the Tinder. You know what I mean? Lady? Hey, lady. Hey, lady. Come follow me on Tinder. I mean, on YouTube. Baby girl. See, I got the Riz, dog. I'm the Rizzler, bro. When I look at women, they are terrified. Oh, shit, dog. Woohoo. Yes, sir. Hey, 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 dog. Woo. Hey, dog. Yes, sir. Let's go, man. We might have a date, boys. Yes, sir. W's. W's. Okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, that's bullshit. Okay, boys. Yes, sir. Alright. Now we have a miss. We gotta react to this, boys. I think this is mostly important, right? Okay. Boys, we might be in. We might be locked in, dog. But that'll be later in the stream, you know? That'll be later. Okay. Now. Okay. Thank you. Let me see. Hello. Okay. Shout out to my boy Kevin. 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 Boys, Kevin's in the chat. All the Kevins out there, but most importantly, my boy. Okay, thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. Damn, man. We'll probably. Okay. Oh yeah, shout out Joshua. He's a pretty cool guy, man, and he's bald. But also, he's helping the boys out, man. He has a forgot consultation. No, he consults people. I don't know the right wording. My bad, Josh. Autism's really hurting me hard right now. I shout him out in every stream. Some of them are public, but guys, make sure you check out Josh Motzi on YouTube. He has a transformation video about going bald. But let me zoom in. Hey, we're back. Come here. Okay, that might be too close. I'm thinking that's a little too close. But oh yeah, guys, I'm growing the stash. Not like the short weird guy that had the disagreements with the big hat people. You know what I mean? Not like that, fella. I promise you that. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, guys, do not judge my terrifying dirty hat. It's really dirty. Okay, check chat. Okay. Yes, sir. The camps, bro. Check them out, dude. Check out the camps, boys. Bald people, rise up. Oh yeah, Josh. In a little bit, when you're free, do you want to hop on a chat and talk about RFK after this reaction? If not, it's cool, man. But yeah, let's get into this little debate he's having with Piers Morgan. You know, it's really important in this nation. I'm gonna shut up and stop yapping. What's good, Kevin, my boy? Boys, W's in the chat for Kevin. I'm not fucking joking. Sorry for the language. W's in the chat for my boy. He's my dog. He does all the edits, all the beautiful edits in these videos, man. He's my boy. It's me and him against the world, dude. And you know, he's my boy, dog. If you come at him, we're gonna punch you in the throat, dude. You gonna come at us, huh? No, we choose peace. My bad. But I definitely shouldn't be president. But maybe RFK Jr. Let's go, dog. Let's go. Come on, boys.
Generation watch CNN, watch MSNBC, and I'm not normally allowed on those networks. If you don't own a house in this country, you can't participate in the American dream.
How did you feel about Donald Trump becoming a convicted felon?
This is the destruction of everything.
Huge W, dog. Huge W.
I'm the first candidate
Huge.
in history who's requested Secret Service protection and denied it.
You've been very supportive of Israel, but very unsupportive of Ukraine.
I'm anti-war. It's a war of choice. It's a war we should never have had.
Hold up, guys. I know I'm pausing it just before it starts, boys, but I love how he's anti-war. You notice in the United States, it's war this, war this, war this. You know, we've been in so many wars. Not trying to get into them, and you know, YouTube overlords. I'm sorry. God bless you. But if you notice what happened after 9/11, we was in the wars for over a decade, right? We took out Osama bin Laden. I guess that's a W. And then before that, we were in Desert Storm. We're in Panamanian Civil War. We was on all these wars. And then when Ronald Reagan was in office, He sold weapons to terrorists to help them overthrow their government. So, and even before that, we were in the Vietnam War for almost 20 years. Then, before that, we had the Korean War right after World War II. So, we have been in wars ever since the Great Depression. I think we've been in wars for almost a full 100 years. And before that, Great Depression. Then before that, World War One. And then, it was in before World War One, it was Theodore Roosevelt's years of presidency, right? He created peace, right? Peace with Japan and Russia. He won a Nobel Prize for that, I believe so, right? So I believe that he might be right about this, man. Josh, it's our country. It's the military-industrial complex, okay? It's them. FBI, I'm sorry, my bad. They're gonna come and do some weird things to me if I don't watch my mouth, but boys. Yeah, let's get into it. Fucking talking on for too long, boys.
To me, you're painting a very benevolent, trusting view of Vladimir Putin.
Hamas has to be disarmed, or else how can you have a peace? I'm very, very happy to take cognitive tests along with President Trump and President Biden.
Maybe they should get you on the debate stage and then put you all through a live cognitive test.
Yes, sir.
He's a Kennedy, a supposed conspiracist, and the insurgent independent candidate for President of the United States, RFK Jr., has shaken up the race for the White House, powered by younger voters, a canny media plan that favors podcasts over press conferences.
Okay.
Both the Biden and Trump campaigns are divided over who he may hurt the most.
Let's
One
figure
thing's
this
for
out.
certain, a strong independent candidate could change the course of history in a knife-edge election, and Robert F. Kennedy
for 10 states, and we are already on the ballot in 9 more, so that's 19 states. That gives us about 278 electoral votes, access to 278 electoral votes, which is about half the total. By mid-July, we will be on the ballot in every state and in the District of Columbia. Our polling is doing well. I'm over 15% in 6 of the major national polling firms now. And in head-to-head races, I beat President Biden in a landslide, 39
Let's
states
go.
to 11 states, and the biggest poll taken, which is the Zogby poll. I also beat President Trump in a head-to-head race. President Biden can't do that. I can. I'm beating both President Biden and President Trump in terms of favorability. I'm way ahead of them. And I'm beating them among young people and among independent voters. So my peers, my big challenge is the baby boom generation. They're the people who watch CNN, they watch MSNBC, and I'm not normally allowed on those networks to do live interviews. And so if you live in that information bubble, then you would have a very, very unfavorable view of me. And my challenge is to get on those, on CNN, MSNBC, and then the broadcast networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, and try to get live interviews on them so I can
You know
talk
what?
directly.
I'm going to stop it real quick. I'll make this short. Both sides do not want him debating them. And that's the weirdest part, right? Both the Republicans and the Democrats are against this dude. They're against RFK Jr. And that is... I'm not saying whoever the media says is a terrible human being is always right. Let's look at our boy, Kim Jong-un. Now, he's probably not right for starving his people, right? So, he's probably a bad guy. Love you, Kim Jong. But he's probably a bad guy, right? Most likely. Now, when it comes to RFK's case, I mean, a lot of politicians say these good things and don't actually put them into paper, right? They don't put them into actions. So, if he gets on, he's on 19 states, right? On the voting boards, or whatever they're called. So, if he gets on to all 50 states, right, he has a chance to win. Or maybe 35 states, as some other sources say, right? So, if he gets on all 50 states, and he has a higher percentage of people, now he's an independent, so he's taking voters away from each candidate. So he has to get more voters than they are, and it's much harder for him to do so since he's an independent. And let's look back at one of the last biggest independents. I forgot the one in previous years, but we're gonna go to Teddy Roosevelt, our boy, Teddy Roosevelt. The third time he ran for president, just after his boy became president and didn't do that good of a job, he was like, "Nah, bro, I'm coming back, dude. I'm coming back, and I'm taking a job. You think you're good? Nuh-uh. You got doo-doo on your head, bro. You doo-doo head, you piece of crap." And so he ran for president, but he didn't think the Republicans were good because they've always went against him when he was president, right? And he went against the establishments, the businesses, the bought out Republicans from the companies. He ran against them as an independent, but he only took voters away from the Republicans. And Woodrow Wilson became president, the president during the World War I years, right? And he created the European nations, which I don't know. That's probably not the best thing to ever happen to the world. Just saying, because one big government, way too powerful in my opinion. And I think the United States should stay out of world affairs unless it's really bad, like World War II, right? When they come and attack us. But I think we should stick to ourselves and build ourselves up and then reach out and help others, right? So let's look at America as a person, right? So if America as a person has so many issues, right, inside, why are we going to help other people? I mean, it's good to help other people, yes, but when you have so many issues within yourself, you should probably fix yourself first, and so that you can help other people afterwards. I think that's the biggest issue we're facing now. We're sending money when we're poor on the inside. It's kind of like if you're poor in the spirits, without Jesus and all that, that's what matters most, if you're poor in the spirit, right? So we should fix ourselves first, man. And I don't think Biden's gonna do it. Trump will help a little bit, but we need actually a better president than either one, right? And let's see if RFK Jr. stands up to the task, right? Let's see if he's good for the job.
The baby boomers, and I've got 5 months to convince them, enough of them, to vote for me that I win the election.
I mean, what is fascinating is that right now, you are polling better than any third party or independent candidates polled
Yes,
in
sir.
an individual survey at this stage in the cycle since Ross Perot in 1996. That's only 30 years ago. So whatever you're doing is clearly resonating with a lot of Americans. What nobody can really work out is who you're going to damage most. Who do you want to damage most?
I don't really have a preference. I mean, I can tell you what our polling is showing, which I think is the most accurate polling, that about 57% of the people who say they're going to vote for me, if I dropped out of the race, they would vote for Donald Trump. The big Zogby poll, typically appears a national poll by Harvard-Harris or Gallup or Quinnipiac or Monmouth, has about from 1,000 to 2,200 people. Zogby did a poll more than 10 times that size, so 26,000 people. It has a margin of error of almost 0. And that poll showed that if in a three-way race, if the three-way race occurred today, President Trump wins. And if I drop out of that race, President Trump wins even more. He wins 2 extra states, which would be Maine and Virginia. So I think my presence in the race helps President Biden at this point. I'm hoping in the long run that I'll be very damaging to both of the candidates. So, but also, all of our polling is showing that I'm bringing in a lot of people who had given up on the political process, people who weren't going to vote this cycle if I am not in the race.
Now, 2 questions about the upcoming debate. One, I believe you've technically qualified to be on that stage with Biden.
But they don't want them to.
The question I have for you is, are they going to let you?
Well, clearly they don't want to let me. You know, we know from the Washington Post reporting and from other journalists who've actually described what happened in the telephone call between President Biden and President Trump and CNN. And from there.
Okay. We're gonna move on to a further part in the video. I mean, that is good that he's discussing that, but let's go to the juicier, context. Now, this is what's actually affecting us. As you guys know, most of you guys live in the United States. This country. And then Josh, he lives in Canada. R.I.P. Sorry, Josh, I didn't mean to put that out there. R.I.P. F's in the chat, boys. F's in the chat. But we allow him to be American. So, but F's in the chat, boys. F's in the chat. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Let's go.
On the way to catch him, he will actually exceed that by the end of his term. He's now running up a deficit of he's adding $1 trillion every 90 days. So the deficit, this is existential, and they can't talk about it. They can't talk. Both of them are behind the wars, the Ukraine war and the other wars that were in this addiction to wars. Both of them have brought that on. Neither of them can deal with this terrible, poisonous polarization and division that we have had in this country.
Black
that
Power.
is more threatening to our democracy than at any time since the American Civil War.
No.
Both of them feed on that anger and that vitriol and those accusations and the fear, and they are both the product of it. So they're not going to be able to solve it. And and then the chronic disease epidemic that now is debilitating 60% of our kids. They can't do anything about it because they presided over it. Inflation that is destroying our economy, the destruction of the American middle class. They're the ones who ordered the COVID lockdowns, which were the nail in the coffin of the American middle class. In 500 days, we created 500 new billionaires, this new oligarchy of billionaires, and we shifted $4.3 trillion from American working poor and the middle class to this new class of super rich. And they did it. They've mounted this assault on the American middle class, and the only thing they can say is it's not happening. But, I spend a lot of time talking to regular, everyday people, and 60% of the people in our country today are making less than the cost of basic human needs. And, there's desperation in our country that has never been experienced before in American history, and neither of them has a plan. Neither of them even talks about it. President Biden says we're all doing great. I think, I'm talking to Americans.
Hold up, brother. Hold up. He says we're doing great. What kind of rock does he live under? No offense, Biden. What kind of rock is he? Hold up, boys. What kind of rock is this guy living under? No offense. But dang, dude, open your eyes and ears, my brother. Goodness gracious, man. Oh, you're not suffering? It's like saying to a homeless man, get a home, you piece of shit. Get off the streets. It's kind of like, hold up, dog. We can't afford things for our toes. We can't afford peanut butter. Like, the normal person can't afford the normal stuff. But also, build up our money, excel, like building up your muscles, and stuff like that. So, yeah, we shouldn't have to depend on the government for everything, right? But if the government is creating inflation and ruining us not on purpose, right? Then there's a problem, right? So they're saying, oh, it's all going to be okay, but no changes are made. We're just going to sit here, put a thumbs up our ass and say, it's okay, government. Big Daddy government, we trust you, we love you. Okay, bro. Yeah, Josh, watch your language, but yeah, buddy. Yeah, you're right, dude. He sees it. The big daddy of governments. The leaders. They see us, but it's like we don't care, dude. Nuh-uh, dude. You gotta sit there and suffer, you dirty little boy. That's what the government is telling us, dude. And by the way, I don't know why I did this, but I used to have a guy at work when I was working at Pizza Hut. He had like 3 fingers. He was like this. He did like that. He had like 3 fingers on each hand, and we called him claw hands. Looking back, it wasn't that nice, but it's just hilarious. Claw hands. It's like that. Every time he saw the person with missing fingers, he would ask him how he did it. Like if someone served in the military, he's like, "Did you lose your fingers by explosives?" And just did like that. Regarded. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for clearing our brains with that one. Thank you.
Want these issues debated, who want to know, what we're going to do about housing costs in this country. There's an entire generation now that is never going to own a home, which is the basic, fundamental fulcrum of the American dream. The promise that if you work hard, you play by the rules, you can buy a home, you can take a summer vacation, you can raise a family, you can put something aside for your retirement on one job. There's nobody in my kids' generation who believes that that promise applies to them. And, the housing prices are out of sight because of inflation, number one, but even more importantly, these giant corporations like BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard that own 88% of the S&P 500 and now are buying up all of.
We're not coming out the closet, boys. We're not gay. We're not. I know Pride Month is over, but we're not gay. I promise. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but we're not gay. We are not. Shout out Pride Month. I think it's wrong to be proudful and to celebrate a whole month to it. Not saying that I think gay is bad. It is up to them to choose that, right? But Pride Month, dedicating a whole time to be proud of something, I think that's wrong in my opinion. If, like, let's say if I was punched, never mind, I'm not gonna say that because they're gonna get me for that somehow. I don't care if people are gay. Live your life. God bless you. But I don't think we should be celebrating Pride, But people can be gay, People can be anything they want nowadays. And I'm not judging. Look at me. I wouldn't judge. Look at my American flag. It is dirty. In my hat, dude. Okay, that doesn't matter. But do you guys think that Trump is talking about the things, or probably a little bit, talking about the same things RFK Jr. is talking about here? Now, RFK, to me, this is why one of the reasons I will probably vote for him if he's on all the ballots, right? Because that's the most important thing. Because we need to keep the options open. Like if he's not on all the ballots and is able to get on the stage and debate with these people, then how can we vote for him if he's not on the ballots, right? So he has to get on at least 35 ballots for us to have the ability to vote for our boy, right? Kaka, motherfucker. Oh, my bad. But he has to get on all the ballots for us to be able to vote for him and share our love and appreciation with him. Now, is he the end-all be-all that would save all of us from all of our problems? I don't think so, right? He's not Jesus. That's the only man who can do that for us, right? So, but I think the reason why I will vote for him is because he knows our issues, right? And plus, he's Kennedy's nephew, right? That's an important thing, because you remember what Kennedy stood for. He was the last best liberal Democrat. Now, I'm not really down with the liberals. God bless them. I love you. Kisses, hugs. I don't know. But I don't judge. God bless. But out of all the people from that side, I think this guy and Kennedy are the last great ones. And I think we can all agree on that because he stood against establishment. He was against wars. He was against all that bad stuff, the military-industrial complex, dude. He was against that, dude. I think that's pretty good. We should not go into wars. Like it says in the Bible, we should love one another, right? So I think murder is not loving, right? And saying these guys over here, these North Koreans, dude, they're not with us. They want communism. Now, if a country's treating their people bad and like punching them in the face and giving them some elbows, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think we should help people out. But when we have issues that we need to take care of as a nation, and just not helping a brother out in the United States, I think that's where the problem resides. When we're sending trillions of dollars to countries that don't even know us, right, as people, and the United States just kicking us down and not helping us, their own people, I think that's where all the anger and anguish comes from as Americans, is because there's so many homeless people, you can barely afford anything, and you have, like, voting doesn't matter anymore. Are the politicians actually going to stand up for us and actually fight for what we believe in? And the media controlling what we think on a daily basis and saying you can't think like that, you can't say this, you can't say that. And if you have an American flag, we hate you, dog. We hate you. And you got ugly traps. What the worst thing someone could say about you? Your traps are a little on the fruity side. I don't think that's right to call someone's traps fruity. You know, that's a little rude, in my opinion. Then if they can even discriminate against gingers, right? I don't think that's right. Huh? Our kind needs to stand up, bro. Our kind will not take that disrespect anymore. But let's get back in the video. Very long tangent. Might be.
Opportunity. If you don't own a house in this country, you can't participate in the American dream because you can't get access to capital. You can't. If you own a house, you own equity. You can borrow money. You can pursue your entrepreneurial impulses. You can build a bowling alley or a yoga studio or a saloon or a sporting goods store. Without that, and that's what created the American middle class, is the greatest economic engine in the history of mankind. And now we're going from a ownership society to a rental society, and when we do that, we go from being citizens to being subjects. And this is the destruction of everything that we value in America.
If you were on that debate stage, what would be the killer question for you, for both Trump and for Biden?
I think the things that I just talked about, what are we going to do about inflation? How do you justify running up these huge deficits? What's the end of it? Where is it going to end? That's what is eating up the American dream. These deficits feed inflation. Inflation is a way of taxing the poor, of taxing the working poor, people on fixed incomes, people on salaries, and it's destroying everything in our country, and neither of them has a plan for dealing with it. And that's what I'm going to hit on them. Where is your plan for making our country affordable again, for rebuilding the American middle class, or rebuilding our industrial base, helping small business in this country, which is under attack? There are a million benefits and subsidies for big business and none for small business in this country. And during COVID,
I was about to bring that up. I'll let him finish talking. I don't want to yammer on too much, but yeah, I mean, he's fixing to hit a big point of what I think about a lot of the time, because America, the capitalism, right, it has companies, big industries, but then it's supposed to have the middle class. The middle class is dead. It's no longer existing. It's like the fucking dinosaurs, dog. You know what I mean? They don't exist anymore. There's only a few, I think, but middle class, no more, because of inflation and the way the government has been ran. There's no more middle class. It's hard to get ahead, right? But you can with like social media and stuff like that, right? And with running your own business and Shopify and investing in Bitcoin, getting your money up, all that besides the point, right? He's right. I'm going to shut up and we're going to listen to him. He's going to have some valid points, I think, right here.
They closed, the two of them closed 3.3 million businesses with no due process, no just compensation, no scientific citation. And now they're going to those businesses and asking them for the money back that we gave them during COVID. And it's just insane. And 41% of black-owned businesses will never reopen. We're seeing the devastation of that in our cities today. Many of these businesses had 3 generations of equity in them, and of hard work, of sweat equity, of financial equity, and it's all gone now. And the American middle class,
what?
We're turning into this very stratified society, with this extraordinary wealth above and widespread poverty below, and that kind of configuration, peers, cannot support democracy over the long term. It's too unstable.
And talking of preserving democracy, how did you feel about Donald Trump becoming a convicted felon? Do you agree with the...
Dude, I'm telling you, when Donald Trump came out with that mugshot, dude, I'm like, this guy, dude, for some reason he looks super cool, bro. Now, I'm not saying everyone should get arrested and get a mugshot made. I do not condemn that, right? You should not go to jail. Just putting that out there, boys. But I'm telling you, when that mugshot came out, bro, that was, dude, that was badass. Excuse the language, but that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. He looked super angry in that, bro. So, not like that. That made me look special mentally, right there. My bad. But, dude, I'm telling you, when that mugshot came out, it was a banger, bro. I wish that was my school picture, man. You know what I mean? Nobody would fuck with you. Imagine if you're looking around like that. And you're like, the kids try to come up to you, you're like, bitch, get away from me. Huh? You try to touch me? No. I use my Aikido. And chop you in the throat or something. Give you a nice little karate chop in the neck. God! Imagine if you did that to the poor little people. It's not that nice, so I say don't do it. Not a good idea to go around karate chopping people. That'd be massively weird. Really weird if you do that, so I'd say don't. If you're gonna karate chop anyone, don't do it. Give them a hug, read the Bible with them. Probably shouldn't cuss. That's a good idea. But let's continue.
Republicans and a lot of independents, actually, that it was a ridiculous weaponization of the justice system over what should have been just a state misdemeanor, massively overreached, and now will unleash a series of tit-for-tat attempts to imprison political leaders in America, making it almost a banana republic.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, you know, the framers of the United States Constitution were very, very conscious of the history in England where the king would often jail his opponents in Parliament on their way to Parliament,
right,
on contrived charges. And so we pass, in many of our states actually have laws that no matter what kind of crime a legislature, the state legislatures commit, you cannot arrest him on his way to the Capitol. And it's a crazy law, but we actually have that. In many states, you can commit murder, and they're not allowed to arrest you because they were conscious of that. So, you know, we also, as you know, we
that
have
is crazy
value in our country.
I didn't even know that. You know what's one of the worst parts of the law is if in some states, if someone comes into your house and you don't say freeze and you shoot them, you go to prison. And even if they break something, like one of their body parts in your house, they could sue you and they could also go to prison. So it looks like the citizens are becoming second-class citizens these days. I don't know if that's safe to say on YouTube, but it looks like it's quite dangerous times, honestly. But it's crazy, man. The laws have become weird. A lot of them have. It's crazy to see what world we live in nowadays compares to just a couple years ago. It's crazy.
Country, which is we want to make sure that no politician is above the law. But so that if a politician breaks the law, yeah, they have to pay for it too. But prosecutors are supposed to be very, very sensitized to the fact that we don't want America to look like a banana republic,
right?
Or to look at the ancient British model where political opponents, the law enforcement agencies were weaponized against political opponents, and unfortunately that.
Now, boys, we are going to one of the most sensitive topics of today. It's happened within the last year, I believe. I forgot what's the time frame because I don't really pay attention to political things. I've been trying to stay away from it because it just makes me furious of where the country's going. I used to lean towards the right, but a couple years ago I stopped watching and reacting to politics, even though I do get into a decent amount. But we're gonna dive into Ukraine and Gaza and Israel you know, into some of that.
How you see the ideological difference, because from where I sit, currently in London, and from where I sit, you have a Russian dictator illegally invading a sovereign democratic European country, and that country struggling to repel the Russian invader and desperately needing our help, and America remains the number one help it could possibly have, and we all know that. And so America's...
Wait, hold on. What about Great Britain? What about all these European nations that could easily help them, but get us involved? Why does America have to be involved in every little detail of every country? That's my thought process. Yeah, helping when they are needed. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, of course, 100%. But these are grown-up nations, right? I know Russia's a huge country, and I don't know. I don't want to deep into that, but maybe they do need help, right? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it. I'm just gonna be a dumb redneck and say I don't know. Probably. But I don't know if the United States should be in everyone's problems, right? As of now, right now, the United States shouldn't be in everyone's issues, right? That's what I think. I don't think we should be involved in every little detail of everything, right? Because we have so many problems within. If we can't fix ourselves, how can we fix others? That's the biggest issue I think we have, right? The power of the federal government is definitely a big issue, but in the military-industrial complex, right? So how can we help other countries when we are falling apart itself, right? So I think that's one of the biggest issues that we're facing is as a country, right? But let's see what they say. See what kind of what way RFK Jr. will help other countries as president, else than helping the United States, most importantly, of course.
Assistance to Ukraine may or may not determine whether they can stop a Russian victory. And in Israel, they are attacked by Hamas, October the 7th, horrendous attack. And they're responding, and they're trying to get their hostages, and there's a lot of controversy about how they are executing that war. But you're fully supportive of them responding to that invasion on October the 7th. How do you differentiate? I mean, obviously they're different situations, but ultimately it's about the same kind of principle of a people being attacked and then having the right to defend themselves. And America, very supportive at the moment of both. Why do you object to one, not the other?
Yeah, it's contextual, Piers, and here's the reason. I'm anti-war. I think most of the wars that we fought over the past 100 years were immoral wars. I think the only war that we fought that was actually a moral war was World War II.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It wasn't a war of choice. It was a war where we were attacked. It was a defensive war. We were attacked by an implacable enemy that had declared its intention to destroy Western democracies, Western values, and to conquer the world, to establish essentially a German caliphate that they called the Third Reich. But most of our wars, including World War I, were wars of choice. My grandfather protested World War I, lost a lot of his friendships, but it was a war to benefit bankers and arms dealers. And I think the Ukraine war is the same. It's a war of choice. It's a war we should never have had. It's a war that President Putin, we provided the provocation, which was our insistence, irrational insistence, of putting NATO into Ukraine. We were involved, of course, in the overthrow of the democratically elected Ukrainian government in 2014, and then we put in our government sympathetic to the United States, which invited NATO into the country, which since 1992, the Soviet leadership, long before Putin, was saying that's a red line for us, and Russia has good reason for that. We wouldn't let nuclear weapons be put in Cuba. I was there in 1962, and this is on his border. It's 4 minutes from Moscow, but for Aegis missile systems, we've already put the Aegis missile Tomahawk systems in Romania, in in Poland. We, Russia has been invaded 3 times through Ukraine. The last time they were invaded through Ukraine, Hitler killed 1 out of every 7 Russians. So they have a rational national security interest in making sure that Ukraine is not occupied by a hostile army. And, they've been very clear with us about that. Our own diplomats from George Kennett, Bill Pierce, Bill Perry, the leading diplomats in our country have said, if you go into Ukraine, you're going to force a violent response from Russia. Now, even after that, Russia, after 2014, after we overthrew the government of Ukraine, Russia said, and Donbass and Lugansk voted to join Russia. Putin said, I don't want them. I want them to stay part of Ukraine, but let's have a treaty, the Minsk Accords. And the key part of the Minsk Accords is that Ukraine would remain neutral. We wouldn't put NATO in Ukraine. So Zelensky runs. He's an actor and a comedian, never been involved in politics, but he wins with 70% of the vote in a landslide. Why? Because he said, I'm going to sign the Minsk Accords and make peace with Russia. People of Ukraine wanted peace. And then what happens? The U.S. government, Victoria Nuland, and his own right-wing people within, Ukraine, forced him to pivot, so he didn't sign the accords. Putin then goes into the country, but he only sends 40,000 troops. Clearly, he doesn't want to conquer a nation of 44 million people. Putin himself says this. He says, I just want them back at the negotiating table. The United States under Biden won't help him. So Zelensky goes to Naftali Bennett of Israel and to Erdogan in Turkey, and he says, will you help me negotiate a new peace agreement with Putin? Erdogan says yes. They negotiated with the former Israeli Prime Minister and Prime Minister Erdogan in Istanbul. They initial a treaty and the only thing they really want is that NATO doesn't go into Ukraine. And Putin, after they initial it, begins withdrawing his troops from Kiev. Then what happens? President Biden sends Boris Johnson in April of 2022 to the Ukraine and forces Zelensky to tear up that agreement.
Wow. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. We interfere with people when they just want peace. Now, he may not, I don't know if he's right. I'd like to see the receipts of all this, and we could probably look it up online. Easily, right? We probably could. But RFK Jr. does seem like a reliable source, but we should always fact check to make sure we have the right thing instead of just agreeing to someone that has almost all of our political values, right? Because we want to be free thinkers. We don't want to just throw our thoughts onto someone else and say, hey, they believe in everything I do, which is not the truth, right? So we should definitely come up with our own thoughts, see the truth, and then move on for that, right? But I definitely don't think we should be forcing anyone to our will. That's never right, right? That's not good, honestly. That is never good to force what we think onto other people and force them to do a certain aspect. I mean, a certain action, right? So let's continue to get the full history of it and see what he thinks about Israel, and how he would put this to an end, right? And find some peace, right? We also might be in the end of times, just speaking frankly. That's a high chance that we might be in the end of times biblically, right? The river Jordan is going into a drought, and that's one of the prophecies, I believe. I might be wrong. If you guys know something, please tell me. But I've heard that's one of the prophecies of the end times is the river Jordan, some river, is drying up. I need to look more into that, of course. But that might be one of the big signs, that is. But let's see what he says about Israel.
So we had peace in our hands, a very, very beneficial and satisfactory peace. and President Biden made Zelensky tear it up. Since then, there's been at least 500,000 Ukrainian kids who have died unnecessarily on the front line, and we are, and who's making all the money? Northrop Grumman, Boeing, Lockheed, Blackstone, all of our military contracts.
There were 150,000 Russian troops on that border, and they committed massacres.
On the border.
Well, they committed massacres in places like Bucha, which were contemptible. They destroyed cities like Mariupol, completely destroyed them, and they've carried on trying to raise as much of Ukraine to the ground as they can. Well, so my question is, why are you so benevolent towards Putin and so trusting of him?
Well, I'm not trusting of Putin. I don't think you need to trust Vladimir Putin in order to see what happened in Ukraine. That the U.S. it was involved in provocations, and if you look at the CIA, Piers spent $5 billion overthrowing the government through USAID in funding the Maidan revolution in 2014. It was only after we put our people in, and by the way, Victoria Nuland, the Deputy Director of the State Department, you can go on and listen to her taped conversation. I'm not going to tell you what I would have given him. I'm running to be the leader of the country. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do in negotiation. But I spend my career has been about negotiations. I've negotiated 500 lawsuits. I know, and you don't trust the person on the other side of the negotiation. And I can imagine, I would negotiate something that looked like the Minsk Accords or looked like the April 2022 arrangement. Oh, and what we've done, Piers, we have destroyed American power. We have forced an alliance. We've demonstrated the weakness of American power in Europe. We've demonstrated the fact that we can't do what America's supposed to be able to do, which is to reclaim that country. That we're not able to do. We can't get equipment over there. We forced Russia into a very dangerous alliance with China. We've made Putin immensely popular, and his money's going over there.
All right, boys. I think we watched enough of this. Honestly, definitely a long video. Not that long. It's only an hour and a half. No, it's only an hour and 15 seconds long. We're gonna give it a like, boys. If you want to watch the full thing, it's on Piers Morgan uncensored version or channel. Yeah, I think before we come to a conclusion, of voting for RFK Jr., I want to see more of him, right? Not in a weird way, right? But I like most of his views, right? I think most politicians, if we want to vote them in, they gotta show that they're gonna do these things that they're talking about, like the housing, the inflation. Yes, that is something we should fix. Yes, brother. Yes, my guy. And then the peace, bringing peace to Ukraine and Israel and with Russia, right? Bringing peace to all those countries. I think that's necessary because I don't want to be living in a world where war is going to happen, right? No one wants to live in that, right? But we live in a country that wants war, and I think that is definitely a dangerous path, a very dangerous path for the United States and for our people, right? Very dangerous. And we gotta have someone in politics that can fix these things, but we have two politicians that can, right? Donald and RFK Jr., right? Donald shown that he can bring peace. He's shown that with North Korea. Shout out North Korea, dude. But he has shown that he can do that, and he has shown that he can bring the United States to a superpower with its economy, right? He fixed the economy when he came into office. More jobs, more money, more everything. Good tax cuts, good gas prices, right? good food prices. But we also went into $1 trillion of debt, I believe. I might be wrong, but we also did. So we're in a big debt as a country, and sending all that money to other countries is going to be a huge problem, and that probably has to stop, right? Probably. Um, but I think the most logical and reasonable person to vote for, in my opinion, is RFK. RFK, my boy. I think he's a logical choice, man. Because both sides are coming after him because he's not in a political party. He's independent, right? And both parties rule the country. They rule the country. So an outsider, kind of like how Trump was an outsider, but he was on the Republican side. And you know the outsider changes things. But we have to look at how is he gonna take action as president? Is he gonna go through with the things he's saying? He seems like he's reliable and he knows the people of the United States. It seems that way, right? It really seems that way. And as a president, it's good that people see you as relatable, trustworthy, most importantly, because you know how politicians are. None of them are trustworthy. You can't trust them with a bread, a loaf, a loaf of bread. They'll probably put water in it or something. You never know. But yeah, most of these people, we can't trust them, bro. And definitely the problem with social media, right? Controlling our thoughts, making this guy seem to be like a conspiracy theorist, because they are, man. Especially the things he said about like the vaccine, the vax, right? Ooh, close one. But let's look at a video of him talking about the things that he believes in and why people should vote on him, not by his political party, right? We're gonna watch this next.
In my independent campaign for president,
See, he's gonna go through. I'm gonna shut up. Let's just watch it.
liberals have been calling me a conservative, and conservatives have been calling me a liberal. This isn't just name calling. The confusion is genuine for many people, and maybe you yourself aren't sure what you are. I don't really think
I'm a helicopter. I'm a helicopter. That's what I am. 100%.
these categories are very useful anymore. My father was opposed by the liberal establishment when he ran for president in 1968. And so it's confusing even for me sometimes about how to label myself. But if I had to label myself, I would say that I'm a classic liberal or a Kennedy Democrat. So let me help you unravel what that all means, because I want you to vote for me or against me, not based upon the labels that people affix to me, but rather based on my position on the various issues. First, the classic liberal protects civil liberties from authoritarianism. For most of my life, it was the Republicans who sought to restrict freedom of speech and curtail other constitutional freedoms in the name of national security or law and order. For the last 10 years or so, it's been the Democrats who are restricting free speech and other constitutional rights. So who are the real liberals here? As president, I'm going to roll back the surveillance state and restore America as the land of liberty. Second, the classic liberal believes in free market capitalism, but understands that the need to protect the public from corporate excesses is also important. Without regulation and oversight, corporations cheat. They capture government agencies and they pervert free market.
You can kind of compare RFK Jr. to Theodore Roosevelt. Because if you think about this, Theodore Roosevelt went against the big industries, right? He had the Food Act bill, or whatever it's called. It's not, my brain's not working well right now. But the Food Act, or whatever it's called, where the meat was not taken care of well. They would be throwing it on the floors and stuff. That would be disrespecting the meats that people eat from. And so he wanted to pass this bill. Right? This is one of the bills where he actually helped the citizens, the small people, us. Back then, it would have been us, right? Then, he also, the railroad companies would take advantage of the small companies, right? So, like this one person, He probably has a farm and he makes wheat, right? He probably makes $6. Let's say $6, right? Now he has to ship off that wheat to make the money to the buyer. Now the railroad will carry the wheat and they'll take, let's say, 40 to 60 percentage out of the amount of money that he makes, right? So they would take a big chunk, technically, of taxes, right, from him. So he only gets a small percentage of what he would actually make, right? So Theodore Roosevelt passed a bill to help the small people so that they would make more money and wouldn't be taken advantage of, right? Now we need a person like that in office, right? A person who cares for the people and is there for the people. I don't think that's like something bad to ask for, right? Let's say if you wanted your leg chopped off, you wanted to just go to the average bear, you'd go to the average man that knows how to chop a leg off, right? So you don't want to just go for an average person that doesn't care about you, right? You want someone to care for your leg, to take care of it, to put a nice little beautiful bandage on your leg after it's done, right? That's all we ask for.
Markets transforming the system from free market capitalism into corporate crony capitalism, a system of this very cushy socialism for the rich and a merciless, barbaric capitalism for the poor. For example, they pollute the air and water and soil and leave the cost to the public. That's cheating. Or they infiltrate government and they write laws and regulations in their favor. In recent years, both political parties have failed to stop this undermining of our democracy by crooked industry lobbyists. As president, I'm going to level the playing field so that consumers and small businesses at last have a chance. I'm going to get corporate influence out of government once and for all. Third, a classic liberal sticks up for the little guy and the people who get left out. And the ranks of those who have been left out have been growing every year. As president, I'm going to reverse that trend and bring them back in. Fourth, and this might surprise you, a classic liberal favors a strong border. That's because uncontrolled immigration depresses wages, putting American workers in competition with an endless pool of easily exploited labor. As president, I'm going to bring order to the border. I'm going to end the humanitarian crisis there and allow the optimum level of lawful, orderly immigration into this country. The classic liberal maintains a healthy skepticism of the intelligence services and the war machine. The classic liberal seeks peace and pursues democracy. Recently, Democrats and Republicans have sought to outdo each other in their belligerence. As president, I'm going to keep us out of foreign conflicts and bring the resources home to rebuild our own country. Sixth, the classic liberal nurtures the future of our country. Robust health and economic opportunities for young Americans and the opportunity to get into a home will be my priority.
Yes, sir.
Seventh, a classic liberal protects the environment. As president, I will return us to the traditional environmentalism that protects our wilderness, rebuilds soils, preserves our forests and rivers and endangered species and biodiversity. I'm going to get the toxic chemicals out of our food supply.
Good, man. Because, I mean, this one person named Jones, I mean, he kind of brought it up, but the way he talked about it was like out there, dude. He was like, some people call him a conspiracy theorist, you know? But he did say, hey, the food source and the water supply is turning the frogs gay. Not that being gay is wrong, but what he meant by that is they are slowly taking us out to the funeral homes, right? They're slowly putting us out to the pasture, right? They are slowly killing us by the food supply. If you look at the average American, right, we consume lots of energy drinks, lots of soda, lots of fast food stuff, and the regular food has a lot of chemicals in it that's not that cool for you. It's not that good, man. And it is hurting us. It is killing us slowly. And the life expectancy, a lot of people are going to die by heart attacks and other diseases when they're in their 40s or 50s, right? And then next 10 to 15, maybe 20 years. We're not going to live as long as we used to due to the food supply being overly chemicalized. Not even a real word, I just made that up, right? But, I mean, this is a big thing he's talking about. And he's talking this game, right? But if he becomes president, I would want to see them taken in action, right? because talk is not that cool. You can say these things and be relatable to the average Joe, but are you taking action? It's like you saying, "Hey, I'm a lacrosse lacrosse player, but I don't even practice lacrosse." Okay, lacrosse. I don't even practice lacrosse. Fuck, I can't even speak lacrosse. Okay, let me try it again. That was a lot of autism. If you say you're a lacrosse player and you don't even practice lacrosse, then what are you saying, bro? You know? With talking a big game, there must be action, right? With anything, just like me. If I say, hey, I want to become a millionaire, I'm not saving my money, I'm not doing good things and investing right and doing things like that, then I'm just putting out a lie. And that's wrong, right? But I don't want to cast stones at people. I don't want to judge, but if someone's going to become the president of the United States and there are people depending on him, I mean, God bless this man. God bless all of them. But if whoever takes office, there's a lot of power that comes to it. Shut up, Josh. But there's a lot of power that comes with this responsibility. And you have people in your hand. You know, in your hand, there are people that you need to take care of, right? You know, so if you talk a big game, we need you to back it up, right? And let the actions talk, right? And I think he might actually be doing it, but I'm worried when he gets in office, if he takes out the CIA and dismantles it, that's going to be maybe a good thing. But you never know how the things play out, right? Because you know how that happened last time. And it was in the 1960s. So, God bless him. Hope nothing bad happens, you know. Hope he doesn't fall asleep with a pillow on his head, you know. But God bless all these people, you know. But I hope he takes action, just like anyone, right? But as president, you gotta back it.
Order as part of my drive to reduce the chronic disease epidemic in America. Eighth, classic liberalism recognizes that stable democracies require a strong middle class.
Yes,
Giant
yes.
disparities in wealth between rich and poor create a configuration that is too unstable to support a constitutional republic.
Now, to be honest, the middle class is a good aim, but we shouldn't aim for middle class, right? We should aim to be ahead, right? But as America and as capitalists, we do need a middle class. Because without the middle class, there is no stabilization of the economy, right? As we are in now, like in the recession of 2008, I think that's what started it. I don't know the most about economy, but as capitalists, we need a middle class, right? There needs to be imbalance of things, like in all things of life, right? But we definitely do need a middle class. It needs to come back. There needs to be a resurgence of middle class so things can balance out. Just like the checks and balances of the United States. Now that is out of whack, right? We need checks and balances because that's the reason why the United States has lived on for over 200 plus years. Is because of the structure of the government. Now, not all things the government have been cool in the last 200 years. Yes, of course. But the structure that has been placed is a well-oiled machine, right? But it has been corrupt. Maybe it has been corrupt the whole time, and there's a lot of been mistakes. But I think we've grown, and we can fix those mistakes, you know, and come together as American people. I think that's the most important thing. As children of God, as humans that God created, I don't think we should hate one another. I think we should come together, you know, and who cares about the differences? I think that's just created by the government and different things to separate us. Instead, we should come together as children of the Lord and love each other and help one another along our journey. I think that's the most important thing, and that's the one thing we're missing as not just as Americans, but as children of Jesus and as the Lord, right? That we just need to come together. Who cares about where we're from? Who cares where we're going? I think we just need to, you know, come together, man. Most important thing, because there's too much hate, too much anguish among one another, you know. and it is definitely pushed more by the social media, by these outlets that want to separate us. But we should come together and love each other. I think that's the best option we got, right? Best thing we could do. Because if we're separate, we're controlled easily, right?
Public. As president, I'm going to foster entrepreneurial ecosystems and prioritize Main Street over Wall Street. And
Yes, sir.
The American middle class.
Let's go, Warren Kitty, bro. To the moon, dog. To the moon. To the moon. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, that movie, Dumb Money. One of my favorite movies, dude. Honestly, it's a great movie, man. Everyone should watch it because it's based on a true story. It's based on a blockbuster event, dude. Definitely banger, dude. It's a banger movie, man. You should watch it.
Finally, classic
not forceful.
liberalism is about fairness. This economy has become extremely polarized as labor's share of the income has fallen steeply to the benefit of corporations and the super wealthy. As president, I'm going to raise the minimum wage, support labor, close tax loopholes for the super rich, cut housing costs, and increase support for women and children with free daycare and a stronger food stamp program. I love the fact that creative, industrious, hardworking people can get rich in our country, but we also
I do not. I wish I did, but I gotta get up first, bro. I gotta get up, man. I got.
Call me liberal, call me a Kennedy Democrat, call me independent or conservative, whatever you want. I don't care.
Let's go. You know, yeah, boys, we need to get GME. Maybe soon down the road, but we need to get up first, right? Get our money up. I think instead of starting investing now, get our money up, invest in ourselves, right? And then get down with GameStop. Oh, it's 20? Oh yeah, boys. We're gonna get on that. Okay, very low. Boys, why not? Let's get on it, right? We're gonna do, for these kind of live streams, we're gonna start live streaming on my second channel, smaller channel, right? All kinds of live streams will be on there from now on. I just wanted to live stream here because this is my main channel, right? Where I can come out and reach you, you know? Say, hey man, come here. We're gonna have some fun. Come here. That looks a little weird, a little psycho, you know? Didn't mean that, so I freaked you out. But yeah, we're gonna do some live streams like that. And we could even do like investing live streams, you know, stuff like that. Any kind of live streams we feel down to enjoy. But this is why I like RFK Jr. Now, he is saying, hey, I don't want to be on either side, right? I want to do what's right. I'm an independent, you know, don't vote for me just because I'm supposedly a Democrat, right? Don't vote for me or if I'm a Republican. Okay, Josh, diamond hands, dog. But, as I was saying, the reason why I like this guy is because he's saying, I'm not a Democrat. Don't vote for me because I'm a Democrat. Don't vote for me because I'm a Republican, right? He's saying don't vote for me because of those reasons. Vote for me because what the value I bring. I think that's the most important thing. Because a lot of us, especially me, like back in the past, I would have voted for a guy because he's Republican, right? Just putting my hands to the sky, dude. But, oh yeah, I think when I was growing up, I was lucky to have my father, right? He always put into me and my brothers to think on our own. Never trust the government. Like, not like that, but like, don't trust what the mainstream is always saying, right? Because they're not always right. You know what I mean? But he always told us to think on our own, right? Yeah, get the resources, prepare, and be ready for what's to come. Shout out his channel, Serious Survivor. He didn't have autism like me, so it's like well established, you know, with like, you know, news kind of stuff, dude. Just beautiful content over at Serious Survivor. He's prepping, getting ready for what's to come. You know, check out his channel, Serious Survivor, right? His content was wonderful, beautiful. He always came across as cool and chill, man, and very caring. Most importantly, he talked about the Lord. I think that's a good thing. But yeah, if you want to get right on preparing and for when shit hits the fan, excuse the language, check out his channel, man. Doesn't have the schizo or autism like me. You know, it's just well endowed content. There you go. Thank you, Josh. But enough talking about my dad. I could go on and on about him, but you guys are not here for that. We're here for RFK and why we're gonna might vote for him, right? Most important thing of the live stream. Else I'm getting bitches. But RFK just seems genuine. He seems like he wants to change the country for the better and bring peace, right? But we also got to think about it like this. Now, I don't mean to always bring it back to the Lord and Jesus and stuff like that, but we might be in the end of time, so it's hard to trust any of these people, right? Not saying this guy is on the wrong side or the right. Yeah. But not saying this guy's bad or great, you know. But we should always be careful who we try to idolize or try to, like, you know, trust. Because it says, do not have any idols, right? So that's hard to do nowadays, right? But I want to trust him. My heart is telling me to trust him and to vote for him. Because he is, you know, has most of my values, you know, most of the things I believe in, you know. And it just seems like, and plus he seems reliable because he is JFK's nephew, right? And JFK stood up for the right things. Now, he may have had some problems in his personal life, but overall he was a solid president, right? He didn't have all the years he needed to, but he ruffled a lot of feathers and some things happened. But RFK Jr. has some connections that seem really reliable, you know, and his views are very similar to mine. So it's hard to distinguish if he's good to vote for, right? And plus, I can't vote for him if he doesn't get on the ballot in 35 plus states, right? And if he doesn't have a chance to win. I believe he has a chance to win if he gets on to 35 states ballots, right? So that's the thing. We can't put the pen on paper if he's not on the ballots. So it's going to be hard. These are the things we got to be patient on, right? Because we got to wait on if he's going to get on the ballots and if he can get on stage to debate these guys, right? That's the thing we got to wait for. We may really want to vote for him, but this is a timely process and we just got to wait, let it play out. We can't just say, hey guys, you better vote for him or I'm going to karate chop you in the throat, bitch. Okay. My bad. But we just gotta let these things play out. These are... And plus, it's kind of... Sometimes it's really hard to be patient, right? We gotta be patient. Even though the times may be really hard, right? For a lot of us, they are hard. Because... They are tough, right? Because of, you know, the prices of everything. And, you know, a lot of people are struggling to pay bills and struggling to, like, let's say, get their business up and running and stuff like that. So it's really hard to be patient with these things because a lot of bad stuff's going down, right? But we can focus on this a little bit, but let it go. You know, I need to let it go. And we just need to focus on things that's going to build us up, you know, like working out or, like, you know, getting our money up, investing right. Listening to people that only bring us up and not bring us down. We gotta have the ups, not the downs, you know what I mean? And I think that's the most important thing. We may like RFK and want him to become president, but there are some things that need to play out, and if God wills it, then it will be, right? So there's no sense in worrying about it. Just gotta leave it up to that. And if we can do something, we'll do it. But all we can do is talk about it a little bit and say, hey, we might vote for this guy if he gets up here, right? But if he doesn't get up there, it's going to suck, and that's okay. You know, some things don't play out. But I'd say if he gets on the ballots, he leans pretty much to what I believe in. You know, we shouldn't be in other countries' business. We should stay on our own for a bit, work on our stuff, and stay out of wars for a long time. Build up our stuff, you know, take care of the inflation, take care of the middle class, build it up again. You know, take care of these things that need real attention, right? Fix the school systems, because that's a really big must. School systems are collapsing, right? They're pushing a lot of stuff that they should not push. Um, and there's just so much stuff that we need to fix as a country instead of focusing on other countries and other wars that we need to be involved in. I'm just saying that the United States should take care of its own country for now, because if it doesn't, it'll be even worse in the next 10 years. It'll be over in 10 years if we don't fix now, right? That's how big it is. I'd much rather have RFK Jr. as president. That's just me. Trump is good, yes, but I lean mostly towards RFK, man. A lot of people may not like him for the way he talks. I understand that. And I know Trump can make peace with Russia and these countries, right? Because he done it with North Korea. Those are the stats and statistics, my guy. That's the receipts, my brother. But I think we also, that is true, we can have both. But I do think we definitely need to fix the food. And of course, we can fix what we put in our own mouth. We shouldn't have daddy government telling us what to do and what not to do. Right? The forefathers didn't say, hey, government needs to step in when it needs to step in, right? But we should also do our own research, right? That's the reason why the forefathers made the country the way they did, right? We shouldn't put our fucking thumbs in our mouth if it's going to give us, cancer. Just saying. Like me, right? I'm pointing the finger at me. I've been morbidly obese my whole life, right? Look at me, right? So, let's say I eat cheesecake all day long, a whole pie by myself, Now, I know cheesecake is really delicious and bad for me. Now, if I eat cheesecake every single day, I'm going to become 300 pounds. I love cheesecake. I'll probably get sick from it, right? So, these foods have bad chemicals, right? Now, I think we should not trust... Yeah, if the chemicals in food are bad, the government should stand in and say, hey, this is bad. We need to take it out, right? So, yeah, I think that's good for the government to step in on that. But I think they need to lower I think this comes down to us, right? We need to make more money. I understand if you run a family. If you have a family, it's really tough to do this, right? But we make a lot of money and then be able to buy the food we want, right? I think that's it. But, people have families and stuff like that. I think they should make healthier food a little bit cheaper than fatty, unhealthy food, because that's the way they do it, bro. They make the food that's healthy for you a little bit higher than the unhealthy food, right? So they might need to fix that. But yeah, Josh, if they do have it where Trump is the president and Vic is the vice president and RFK in the cabinet, that could be a good fix, that could be good. But if I had it my way, I'd have RFK Jr. as main president, That's the way they say it, main president. Not the other way, because that's little fruit, But, yeah, I definitely think that, yeah. Yeah. That beautiful, man. Okay, that was weird. No. But, yeah, seriously, man. Crazy times we live in, boys. RFK, man. And he believes in God, I think that's important, man. Because I think the country needs a president that has a belief in God, because it sets the journey for the whole country, right? And that's what the United States was founded on, a belief in God, right? Belief in God, in Jesus. And I think the country should have like a president who believes in Christ, right? That's just my belief. Now, people can think in another way. That's it, man. That's just me, right? Because I mean, it sets a stone for the country. Fuck, sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on, let me think. Dang it, boys, my bad. I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, definitely RFK, man. To the moon, dog. To the moon, boys. Also, dude, I might have a date, boys. I don't know. I sound like incel there. I may have a date with a woman. What's a woman, bro? I don't even know women, dude. I'm so alpha male, bro. I don't even talk to women. That's a little gay. If you talk to a woman, nah, you're gay, dude. If you talk to a single woman, look at her. You gotta be looking at the boys. You gotta be looking at men, dude. You gotta be looking at men. Big hairy man. That's what you gotta be looking at. You can't be looking at women, right? No, no, no. That's what they say, dog. Can't look at women. You have to look at all these men. Bodybuilders, dude. Bodybuilding does seem cool, man. You're getting built. But me personally, I wouldn't want to be that big. Not that. I don't know if I could. Maybe if I ate better, you know, I dropped the weight right, and then I do a bulk up, like a clean bulk, not a dirty bulk. You know that I've been doing for the past 2 years, a dirty bulk. No, it's been past 3 years now. But yeah, yeah. I don't know why I look like a psychopath looking into the camera. It's like, hey, come here, come here. But yeah, RFK, man, RFK, dude. Boys, I'm gonna end the stream here. I know it's a short stream, but yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. Then we're gonna start back up again. We're gonna do something cool, you know. But I'll see you guys in a bit. Future live streams will be on the smaller channel. I almost forgot what I was gonna say. I had a brain fart again. Really big brain fart, I'll have to say. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. But this is only gonna happen a few times. I just felt we might continue. We might actually follow these events for the rest of this year. Do the live streams on the second channel. Because to be honest, I want to do live streams where we grow as people, right? Where we grow as a team, as people, individuals in a big group, right? But I want to follow this to see where it goes with RFK Jr. on the smaller channel. That's where we'll do it. Maybe some financial streams or something. You know, as we grow together as a community, because that's what it's about, right? And thank you, Joshua. Guys, check out Josh's channel. It's awesome. A lot of self-improvements with no autism. That's his superpower, his bald head. You can rub on it and wish for good luck and all that stuff. And he says, I am the danger. Oh, he doesn't say it like that. He doesn't say, I am the danger. Okay, that was a little messed up. But he doesn't say it like that. He just says it like Filthy Frank. I don't know. But yeah, new live streams. Else than the next one tonight. We're gonna continue here. Future live streams will be on the second channel. Medium Teddy. That's me. Medium Teddy. You know. And we'll have some regular videos coming out soon. This is gonna sound weird, but I'm gonna do like, you know, where I travel to places, as people do, as humans. Get like haircuts, go to different places, try out different things. I don't know, it's just a style I like, you know, where I just sit in bed and relax. It's something you can, you know, chill with your boyfriend with, or your girlfriend, or your helicopter, your toy helicopter, I don't judge. Or your waifus, I don't know. Or, I don't know, a chihuahua? How? Who would have a chihuahua? No offense. Most annoying dogs of all time. There's, you know, I don't want to listen to that. And they're tiny. How can they fight a bear, bro? They can't even fight a bear. It'll be dead in 3 seconds. You can't even do nothing with a chihuahua. You can punt kick it, but that's not cool. Oh yeah, besides the point. Live streams on second channel. We're gonna come up with some cool stuff. I don't know about I don't know about like intellectual things, but you know, some things, some cool things. We're gonna come back up in like 30 minutes, boys. It's gonna be a different stream. I don't know about playing games because my damn game is messing up, bro. My Ghost Recon Breakpoint game. I've been loving that game so far, man. I've been playing it, and then every time I press the run button, it exits out the game completely. It's like, dude, get out of here. You're not welcome here, buddy. You're not welcome. You're a ginger. You're a piece of shit. Like, that's not cool, man. Hurt my feelings, dude. Discriminative. Not the game Ghost Recon, just my controller. I'm not trying to be outed by by the whole game, bro. No, that's not. I'm not trying to do that. But boys, yapped on for too long. Maybe this is just a yap session. I don't know. But RFK, we're gonna follow his journey. Next live stream will be on the second channel, Medium Teddy, and we're gonna follow his journey for the rest of this year until until someone gets elected, or until RFK Jr. gets kicked out of the race. The urge to get on and run. Yes, sir. You should not listen to those urges, Josh. You got work to do, brother. You got work to do. Oh yeah, boys. Do y'all want to have a Tinder stream? Because I'm thinking about saying some things on Tinder. Not weird things, I promise. Not weird things. Josh, if you're down, but you got work to do, brother. You got work to do. You gotta work, man. You know that. Come on, buddy. But I'm down to play if you are. But yeah, we're gonna come up with some ideas within this next 30 minutes. Yes, sir. 1 month, Josh. You got this, dude. It's just like I need to finish getting certified, you know, on line doing like teaching. But I'm almost there. I just needed a break. I think this live stream was pretty good, man. Definitely RFK, man. We will vote for him. We will continue to do our research on these live streams, you know, and share some things with each other. In the closet, maybe. I don't know about that. No closet things going on here. But yeah, too much yapping, boys. See you in like 30 minutes to an hour. See you, boys.